United Nations is planning to introduce a global digital ID system that is linked to individuals' bank accounts. They released a brief titled A Global Digital Compact Reforms to the International Financial Architecture and the Future of Outer Space Governance. In the brief, it reads, digital IDs linked with bank or mobile money accounts can improve the delivery of social protection coverage and serve to better reach eligible beneficiaries. Digital technologies may help to reduce leakage errors and costs in the design of social protection programs. So basically, they're trying to say, look, you want this because it means you're going to get your Social Security or your disability or your unemployment money faster. But what they don't tell you is they'll be able to monitor everything you buy. So interestingly, I can see a lot of people on the right actually kind of agreeing with this idea. Normally with these types of things, it's people on the left. But on this one, I mean, look, if they say, hey, we're going to give you welfare, so we just want to make sure you don't spend it on things we don't approve of, that might bring in people from a different political side of the aisle who might start agreeing with this type of stuff. And I think that's kind of the big agenda here, is to get everybody on board. With us now is someone who has been extensively covering digital IDs, the World Economic Forum, and the global governance agenda on her show, The Mel K Show. Mel, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It is so important that people are speaking about this. I'm so honored to be here. This is a long time coming. The American people have been really held in the dark about this agenda for a very long time. They are kind of at their end game. And like you said, people are being deceived as to what is going on and why, and then also told that it's for their own good and it's for convenience and this is all this good stuff, when really it's really the opposite of that.
All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ha-Brakah Quadash, double honors to our apostle elders, which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa above all. All right, so the reason they are deceiving the public is because the devil, the so-called white man, the red devil the Bible speaks of, is using deception to bring forth his implantable microchip, okay, which he's going to make mandatory for buying and selling. It says in verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, which they have America, EU, and NATO, all right? It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, the New World Order, which had the wound by a sword and did live, which is going back to the ancient pagan Roman Empire. That's the blueprint for this New World Order. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which we're living that right now. They're bringing this beast system to life, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, which they're going to persecute the saints for our testimony and also for our rejection of that implantable microchip, which the so-called white man, the red devil, starting with the elite of that race, all right, they're going to make it mandatory for buying and selling pretty much worldwide, and then sudden destruction of their kingdom, America. It says, and he causeth all, the so-called white men, starting with the elite, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, which is going back to taking the chip, the implantable microchip. All right, so anyone that's an Israelite, which the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, of North, South, Central, and the Caribbeans of America, all right, if you take this device, it's going to condemn you to the lake of fire as well as to the war in what's going to be in Valley of Jehoshaphat. Yahweh's judgment is going to be on the troops, when they're gathered together, which is known as Armageddon. The Lord's going to destroy all the armies of the world with the armies of heaven, all right? But at the same time, America is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles, all right, as soon as they, pretty much bring forth this implantable microchip. It tells you in Matthew 24 and verse 29, immediately after the tribulation, which the tribulation is going to be brought on by them making that implantable microchip mandatory, because they're going to use chaos to bring forth their new world order. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars, the nuclear missiles, shall fall from heaven, and the powers, the elite of the so-called white race and, the other nations, they have their leadership. The powers of the heavens shall be shaken. So that's talking about the leadership of all these different nations. They're going to be terrified at the destruction of America. All right? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, Yahushua, in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. All right, so Yahushua is going to save us through, using his angels by the power of Yahweh. It says in verse 32, Yahushua says, it's red letter, now learn the parable of the fig tree, which his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So looking at all the signs, all the prophecies coming to pass so rapidly, you know that we're in the last days. We're expecting this implantable micro CHIP, the implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, which they're going to make mandatory for buying and selling. We're pretty much there. The FDA already approved it, with Elon Musk and Neuralink. They already putting it inside people's heads, and they're coming out with so-called positive feedback from their tests. So pretty much they're going to make it mandatory, and they're going to tell you, look, all these people took it and they're doing fine. They're going to act like it's something good for you because they're going to cause chaos on the earth, which they're doing by taking away the resources, taking away the infrastructure. That's why these bridges are collapsing. That's why you got buildings collapsing. That's why, everything's going to shit because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, is the wicked that rule the world. And it says in the Bible, prophesied, that when the wicked rule, the people will mourn. And when the righteous rule, the people will rejoice. So the people are in mourning, all right? It's because the wicked are ruling. And the wicked have a plan of bringing an implantable microchip and making it mandatory for buying and selling. This is the New World Order, which they're going to use chaos to try to get their way. Shalom to the elect, may you endure. Abba, Abba.